Hello, all you film freaks and movie maniacs out there. My name is Nolan Carr, and I'd like to welcome you to the go-to podcast for all things cinema. But before you can ask any questions, just sit back, relax, as I present to you a Straw Lane Studio Productions Critiquing with Carr. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another exciting edition of the show here on Critiquing with Carr for Favorite Film Friday. As always, if you've enjoyed episodes such as this one, do us a favor by subscribing on YouTube, following us on the audio platforms, clicking a thumbs up or like button so you can tell us you enjoy these episodes, turning on post notifications so you can stay up to date on those platforms when new episodes release, as well as clicking at share out so you can help continue to grow the podcast with all your friends and family. Also, if you want other ways of staying up to date with the show, do us a favor by following us on Instagram at Critiquing with Carr. I say all that because on this week's very interesting edition of Favorite Film Friday, we are talking about the classic James Cameron film, Aliens. With that being said, let's begin. This film was directed and written by James Cameron. The story for this film was also done by James Cameron, David Giller, and Walter Hill. The movie was based on the characters by Dan O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett. This movie was produced by Gail Ann Hurd, and the cast for this movie is as follows: Sigourney Weaver, Michael Benn, Paul Reiser, Lance Henriksen, Carrie Henn, Bill Paxton, William Hope, Rico Ross, and Al Matthews. The cinematographer for this movie was Adrian Bedell. This movie was edited by Ray Lovejoy. The musical score was done by James Horner. The production company for this film was Brandywine Productions. This film was distributed by 20th Century Fox. This movie was released on July 18th of 1986. The runtime for this movie was 137 minutes in length. The budget for this movie was $18.5 million US, and the box office total for this movie was between 131.1 and 183.3 million US dollars. The short list of accolades for this film are as follows. At the Academy Awards, Don Sharp won for Best Sound Editing, and Robert Skotak, Stan Winston, John Richardson, and Suzanne M. Benson for Best Visual Effects. At the BAFTA Awards, Robert Skotak, Brian Johnson, John Richardson, and Stan Winston won for Best Visual Effects. At the Saturn Awards, the movie won for Best Science Fiction Film, James Cameron for Best Director and Best Writing, Sigourney Weaver for Best Actress, Jeanette Goldstein for Best Supporting Actress, Bill Paxton for Best Supporting Actor, Carrie Henn for Best Performance by a Young Actor, as well as Stan Winston, Robert Skotak, and Dennis Skotak for Best Visual Effects. And finally, at the Hugo Awards, the movie won for Best Dramatic Presentation. And now it comes time for one of my two favorite parts, which is when I list off the top 10 highest grossing films for that year's release, being 1986's Aliens. Coming in at number 10 was Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It was distributed by Paramount Pictures. Its worldwide gross was $70.7 million. It stars Matthew Broderick, Mia Sara, and Alan Ruck. Coming in at number 9 on this list was Ruthless People. It was distributed by Buena Vista Distribution. Its worldwide gross was $71.6 million. It stars Danny DeVito, Judge Reinhold, and Helen Slater. Coming in at number 8 on this list was Back to School. It was distributed by Orion Pictures. Its worldwide gross was $91.3 million. It stars Rodney Dangerfield, Sally Kellerman, and Brett Young. Coming in at number 7 on this list was The Karate Kid Part 2. It was distributed by Columbia Pictures. Its worldwide gross was $130 million. It stars Ralph Macchio, Pat Morita, and Nobu McCarthy. Coming in at number 6 on this list was Aliens. It was distributed by 20th Century Fox. Its worldwide gross was between 131.1 and $183.3 million. And it stars Sigourney Weaver, Michael Biehn, and Paul Reiser. Coming in at number 5 on this list was Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. It was distributed by Paramount Pictures. Its worldwide gross was $133 million. It stars William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and DeForest Kelley. Coming in at number 4 on this list was Platoon. It was distributed by Orion Pictures. Its worldwide gross was $138 million. It stars Tom Berenger, Willem Dafoe, and Charlie Sheen. Coming in at number 3 on this list was The Golden Child. It was distributed by Paramount Pictures. Its worldwide gross was $149.4 million. It stars Eddie Murphy, Charlotte Lewis, and Charles Dance. Coming in at number 2 on this list was Crocodile Dundee. It was distributed by Paramount Pictures. Its worldwide gross was $328 million. It stars Paul Hogan, Lita Kozlowski, and Mark Bloom. And finally, coming in at number 1 as the highest grossing film for 1986 was Top Gun. It was distributed by Paramount Pictures. Its worldwide gross was $357.3 million. It stars Tom Cruise, Kelly McGillis, and Val Kilmer. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, my review of 1986's Aliens. James Cameron's Aliens is a standout sequel that significantly elevates the stakes and intensity from its predecessor. While Alien was a masterclass in slow burn suspense and claustrophobic horror, Alien ramps up the action, character development, and visual spectacle, as well as creating a thrilling and engaging experience. From the outset, Aliens establishes a more immediate sense of anticipation and excitement compared to the more methodical pace of Alien. The film's introduction, with its dynamic and fast-paced sequence, contrasts with the slower build-up of the original, setting up a thrilling tone for what follows. The transition from Ripley's isolated ordeal to a more expansive and action-packed narrative is both seamless and invigorating. The character of Burke, played by Paul Reiser, adds an interesting dynamic to the film. His apparent sympathy towards Ripley, juxtaposed with his underlying greed and duplicity, creates a complex and engaging antagonist. Unlike the straightforward villainy of some characters, Burke's motives are driven by self-interest, making his ultimate betrayal all the more impactful. The crew of the Sulco, which includes Private Hudson and Sergeant Apone, bring a fresh and vibrant energy compared to the crew of the Nostromo. The film's depiction of the aliens, with their increased numbers and enhanced intelligence, raises the stakes considerably. The sight of the chestburster being dealt with and the subsequent discovery of alien activity create a mounting sense of dread. The tension peaks when the aliens ambush the soldiers, showcasing their creatures' terrifying adaptability and aggression. The twist with Bishop being a loyal and trustworthy android, contrary to Ripley's initial fears, adds an intriguing layer to the narrative. His eventual dismemberment by the alien queen is a well-executed special effects sequence that highlights the film's technical achievements. While Alien excels in many areas, there are a few elements that fall short. The character of Gorman, for instance, is portrayed as a somewhat ineffectual leader whose mistakes contribute to the mission's dire outcomes. His failure to effectively manage the crisis adds to the film's tension, but it also casts him in a negative light that may seem a bit overplayed. The subplot involving Ripley's struggle with her relationship with Newt, though emotionally charged, sometimes feels predictable and conventional. One minor but noticeable flaw is the film's depiction of the space environment during certain scenes. The portrayal of characters holding onto metal grates or ladders during explosive decompression feels somewhat implausible, as it contradicts the realistic depiction of zero gravity and vacuum conditions. While this doesn't detract significantly from the overall experience, it does stretch credibility in an otherwise well-crafted film. In conclusion, Aliens is a highly successful sequel that manages to expand upon and enhance the elements that made Alien a classic. With its engaging characters, thrilling action sequences, and impressive special effects, it offers a different yet equally compelling experience. The film's pacing and character development contribute to its overall success, even if some elements, such as predictable character dynamics and occasional implausibility, slightly mar the experience. Overall, Aliens is a film that stands strong on its own merits, providing both a satisfying continuation of the Alien saga and a thrilling action-adventure experience. It remains a highly enjoyable and influential entry in the science fiction genre, which is why this movie, Aliens, earns a respectable score of 7.5 out of 10 on the Diamond Dave scale. And with that being said, my film freaks and cinephiles, if you've enjoyed this week's edition of the show, do us a favor by subscribing on YouTube, following us on the audio platforms, clicking a thumbs up or like button so you can tell us you enjoy these episodes, turning on post notifications so you can stay up to date when episodes release on those platforms, as well as clicking at share out so you can help continue to grow the podcast with all your friends and family. Also, if you want other ways of staying up to date with the show, do us a favor by following us on Instagram at Critique with Carr. And with that being said, my film freaks and cinephiles, until next time, and happy viewing.